Good morning, Amber, Jade and Indigo. Welcome to our final reading lesson. You've made it to Friday and thank you very much for all the work that you've sent in this week. I really do appreciate it. It's always good fun to read your work and to look at the things that you have done during the week. The ally today is to write and draw a story. So let's begin the lesson by making sure that you are ready and prepared. So you need a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil. Use the pause button if you need to. So let's look at the steps to the lesson. We'll do the spelling test first and then we'll look at the final activity to write and draw a story. So here's the spelling test. You need to select the word that is spelt correctly. So you need to find the word now. Which one is spelled correctly? Now. So you can write it down. Number 2, which is the word how? Make sure you spell it correctly. Which one has the correct spelling? How. Number 3, which word? Oh dear, that went back. I'm going to take that one. Oh dear, don't want that. So here we are, we've got how, and the next one is owl. Which word is owl? Make sure you get the spelling correct. Number 4, mouse. Which word is mouse? And it has to have the correct spelling. Which word is it? Is it the first, second, or third word? Number 5, which word is house? Find the correct spelling for the word house. And last of all, which word is sound? Find the word that has the correct spelling for the word sound. Okay, I'm going to count to 5, then we're going to check your answers to see how you've done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if you got the correct answers. Now is in box number 3. How in box number 1. H-O-W-L. Owl in box number 3. O-W-L. You can see the owl sound at the beginning. Mouse is in box number 2. M-ow-s. House is in box number 3. Starts with the letter H or H. Owl-s. House. And the last one, sound. Well, how did you do? Did you get all 6 correct? Brilliant work if you did. If you got 5, it's still very good. If you got 4 or less, you need to do some practice, and we'll talk about that next week. How do you practice your spelling words? Let's move on. Right, it's a very short session today, so you've got a number of different activities to do, and it's about you memorizing or remembering the story. So the very noisy night. So at the beginning, who's lying in their bed? What are they doing? So I've got the beginning part of the sentence. How would you start the very noisy night? So I've written one night. What comes next? Do you remember who the characters are in the story? And who is that lying in the bed? That's your first task, so write 1 or 2 sentences for that image or picture. The second one, I'm going to read this because you need to draw a picture of what the sentence tells you. So you I'll read it first and I'll explain. Big Mouse, called Little Mouse. I can hear something rushing round the house, huffing and puffing. Right, who was saying that? And what was rushing round the house, huffing and puffing? Do you remember? So Big Mouse, called Little Mouse. I can hear something rushing around the house, huffing and puffing. So can you draw a picture for that sentence? Poor Little Mouse seems afraid, seems very frightened. Instead of sleeping, he can hear huffing and puffing. Your next task, tap, 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 tap. What could Little Mouse hear? What was making the tap, tap, tap sound? So I've once again started the sentence for you. Little Mouse could hear the sound of, and do you remember what was making the tap, tap, tap song? So you have to remember the story. What comes next? You're going to do another picture. I'll read the sentence. It keeps calling, hoo hoo, hoo hoo. Now, what was making the hoo hoo sound? Do you remember? What animal was making the hoo hoo sound? Let's move to the next task. Oh dear, that's a Little Mouse there. What's Little Mouse doing? Oh, he's saying something like, can I come? He's talking to Big Mouse. What does he say to Big Mouse if he started the sentence, can I come? He kept asking Big Mouse the same question quite a few times after he heard different sounds. So what did he say to Big Mouse? Can I come? Do you remember? So think back about what Little Mouse said to Big Mouse after each time he had heard a noise or the sound of something. And the next one, we've got Little Mouse there. He seems to have an umbrella, and on the right hand side there, above the red thing, supposed to be an umbrella, it's drip, drip, drip. Can you remember what was making the drip, drip, drip sound? Can you draw a picture of what was making the drip, drip, drip sound? I'm going to give you a clue. There's a clue on the left hand side if you can't remember. That goes with drip, drip, drip. And finally, well, Big Mouse seems to have Little Mouse carrying him off somewhere, and these two go together, and now Little Mouse is lying in bed. What's he got on his ears? Why has he got those things on his ears? So the last task is Big Mouse picked up Little Mouse. What did Big Mouse go and get for Little Mouse so that he could sleep and not be woken up by the sounds outside? Right, do you remember the story? Well, if you're really stuck and you can get on the internet, you can go to YouTube, and if you type in on YouTube The Very Noisy Night, you'll find the story. If you find a story that has 4.02 underneath it, that's the shortest version. So, good luck with the task. I look forward to seeing your work. Have a lovely weekend. Relax, enjoy, and have a wonderful time with your family. Bye for now. Take care. Speak to you soon. So don't forget, email your work to yr3@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Bye for now.